Stop for a second and think about the power you are holding right now in your hand. It's a device that can carry your voice to almost every corner of the world. You can plant an idea in a stranger's head on the other side of the planet and watch it grow. Think about how insane this is. A king 500 years ago commanded armies just to send a single message across country. You can reach million people before your coffee gets cold. Kings would have killed for this power, and you carry it in your pocket. And most days you say nothing. And so today let's talk about the two things nobody explains about sharing what you think, the reward and the price, and why you should pay it anyway. Let's start with the reward, and for that I will use the greatest example in human history, Rome. But not the Rome you are picturing right now, not the Colosseum, not the marble, not the emperor designing life and death with thumb, not the army that conquered the knowing world that came up at the end of the story. Forget it for a minute, because Rome began as almost nothing, a tiny settlement on a few hills, houses made of mud and straw, a handful of vermins and outcasts, nothing that looked like destiny. If you had walked past it back then, you would not have looked twice. So ask the question, how does a village of straws become the center of the world? Not with gold. They didn't have it yet, not with armies. Those came later. It started with something you already have, an idea. Because here is what actually happened. People came to the village, and more importantly, they stayed. Not because they were forced, not because they were born there. They chose it. They left whatever they had, and they came because they believed in an idea. The idea of belonging to something new, something better than where they came from. Rome offered people a story they wanted to be part of. And that is the secret. Every empire, every movement, every community is built on. And not stone first. The stone came after. First came the shared belief. The stone is just what shared belief looks like once enough people showed up to build it. Remember that. The idea is the foundation. Everything visible is built on top of it. And here's why all of this matters to you. You can build the same thing, not with hills and straws, with one screen, with one voice. If you have even 20 people who listen to what you say, stop calling them followers. You have 20 citizens of a village that did not exist before you opened your mouth. You created a place out of nothing, and it doesn't matter that you will never shake their hands. It doesn't matter that they live in 10 different countries. A citizen is someone who chooses to belong to what you're building. So be useful to them, bring them something real, and the village became a town. The town became a city. The city became Rome. But there is one rule that made Rome work. And if you break it, they will think false. You are not someone who commands these people. You are someone who serves them. The moment you start commanding, instead of serving your citizens, stop showing up. You bring solutions, you bring value. You bring something they can't get elsewhere. That is the reward. You can build something real out of nothing but an idea and the courage to say it. And that's the courage. That's the hard part. I'm not going to lie to you about it. There is no guarantee that people will like you or your idea. And here is the problem you can get around. No one can follow an idea that you never spoke. No one joined a village that was never built. So you have to speak. But that moment you speak, something changes. An idea keep inside your head is perfectly safe. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can judge it. But an idea said out loud becomes a target. It can be attacked, laughed at, misunderstood. And that is the trait nobody warns you about. Silence is safe and it builds nothing. Speak is dangerous and it builds everything. You can't have the word without exposing yourself to the price, and to show you how old this price is and how heavy it can get, let me introduce a man who paid it full. And Galileo, he looked at the sky with better eyes than anyone before him, and he saw the truth, that the earth is not the center of everything, that we move around the sun, not the other way. And he did the dangerous thing. He said it out loud. Now remember the word he said it in, a word that had decided the opposite was scary truth. So what did it cost him? His freedom. He spent the end of his life under arrest, his ideas banned, his books forbidden, his name banned with the word heretic. Now ask yourself the only question that actually matters. Was he wrong? No, he was right, completely right. He was just right too early. And being right too early looks exactly the same as being wrong to the crowd around you. It took the world almost 300 years to admit he was right. 300 years to clear his name. He was long dead before the apology came. But here is the part that should stay burned in your mind. Through all of it, the arrest, the threats, the humiliation, Galileo never took back the truth. The whole world punished him for being right, and truth still won. It just took time. Truth is patient like that. And don't fool yourself into thinking this belongs to the past. We tell ourselves a comfortable story that today we have freedom of speech, that those dark days are over. But let me tell you how freedom of speech actually works. It feels free only when the people around you already agree with what you are saying. That's not freedom, that's comfort. Stand up in a crowd that believes the exact opposite of what you believe and say your truth, and watch how fast you became heretic all over again. Now it's true. No one will burn you at stake. No one will exile you to an island. The fire didn't disappear. It just changed shape. It became the comment section, the pylon, the screenshot take out of context. The stranger will wake up and decide that you are enemy for today. It only takes one person determined enough to make a lot of noise. So let's be honest with each other. The breeze is real. It always was. It always will be. The question was never whether speaking costs something. It always does. The only question is whether it's worth paying. And here is my answer to you. Pay it, but pay it honestly, because this is the part that decides whether you survive it. Think about it like this. If you are going to be attacked anyway, and sometimes you will be, then at least be attacked for what you actually believe, and not for a performance, not for a character you invented to be like it. Because here is what happens if you fake it. If you say what you think people want to hear instead of what's true. It might work at first, you might get some likes, you might get the village, but now you are trapped. You have to keep fake it forever, defending a mask that isn't you until it cracks. And it always cracks. Remember Galileo, he could stand 300 years of being wronged for one reason: he was telling the truth. The truth can take infinite pressure and it not break. A lie breaks the moment you push on it. So if you're going to build your Rome, build it on what's real. It is the only one foundation that can hold the weight of everything you put on it, on top of it. So here is where we end, and I want you to really hear this. There are millions of people out there right now doing exactly what you are doing, speaking, posting, building, trying to be heard. So what could possibly make you different? Not your camera. Someone has better one, not your editing. Someone edit faster, and not your luck. You can't control that. The one thing, the only thing that is actually yours is the idea. The thing you believe that nobody else can say quiet the way you say it. That is your brick, and Rome was never anything more than one honest brick laid after another, the people who believe in something enough to keep laying them, even when it was hard. So remember, the whole thing, the word is that you can build something from nothing but a voice and belief. The breeze is the someone people will never like it, and the answer to both is the same. Speak anyway, speak honestly, and understand this: every time you speak your true idea, you lay one more brick, and more you lay them, the louder it gets, until one day the village you build from nothing is too big to ignore. That is how Rome was built. That is how everything worth building is built, one honest brick at a time. And share this with someone still too afraid to say what they think. Follow CoreWired, understanding the machine that runs you.